Hey guys, so I wanted to do a new thing, which was really just sharing some of the things that I learn every week. I run a multiple seven-figure digital agency. It's been at this level for a couple of years now, and we're still figuring a lot of things out. But at this scale, there's really just a ton of lessons. So I wanted to create some videos to document what it is that I'm learning, share that with you, and then also make sure that I kind of solidify these lessons to myself as well. So this week, one of the biggest lessons that we learned had to do with email marketing. So we run ads to our niche, so we're constantly getting emails for people opting into these ads that we're running. And so what we've noticed is we can communicate with that email list, and we're able to generate appointments, generate clients from them. And I've been testing a lot of things, and I've noticed certain things that are working really, really well right now versus things that I thought would work, but didn't really work so successfully in the past. So the things that don't work are these long marketing emails. So the long marketing emails would be something like, a hook in the beginning, followed by some sort of a story to kind of like explain it, and then like a payoff. So what that could look like is, let me actually just pull up an example. Yeah, so here's an example. There's a big lie going around about the current labor shortage. What is that about? Falling for this lie will prevent you from hitting your goals. This is when I had my aha moment. And so a little bit of a story, and then followed by, okay, here's some payoff, some lessons. And, this is, I don't know. I think it's a good email. I've had email experts take a look at some of my copy, and they've said that it's pretty decent. But I noticed that we really weren't getting much of a performance from those emails. It just seemed like nobody was really reading with them, or if they were reading them, they weren't interacting, they weren't replying, they weren't clicking. So one thing that we did find to be effective was direct offers. So direct offers are something like, we did this for this client. Would you be interested in that also? So an email like that looks like this. It'll look something like this. Hey, 62% of customers are looking to search on Google. Look at this, schedule a call. Essentially, that's like basically what it is. And those things worked really, really well. But it was also kind of like I didn't want to like just hit up my list with the same thing over and over and over again. And so I was trying to figure out some other ways to stay on top of the list. So one of the things that we were trying was lead magnets. So what I did for this week is I created a lead magnet that had to do with how to get more reviews for your business. And it was pretty easy to put together. It was just a one-page document, kind of like this on Google Docs, along with a video. And I created the lead magnet, and I emailed the list. But what I didn't do, and what I learned afterwards, is that if you build a lead magnet, you might as well promote it with multiple emails. So it's kind of like writing different ads for the lead magnet from different areas. And what's really cool is you can use marketing automation to set up an entire sequence around this. So let me show you what that looks like. So here's the automation. The first email, I just called it unlimited reviews. And so if somebody opened, if they opted in, it ended. But if they opened it and they did not opt in, they basically got a second email, and it's essentially just like another version or another ad promoting the lead magnet. And if they didn't open it, we just bumped that first email back to them. And then it was the same thing. Look, if they opened it, but they didn't opt in, now there's a third email, which is a little bit, just like a slightly different angle for that. And if they didn't open up that last email, then that got bumped. And over here, you can see some of the stats around this. So the first bump, it got like a 93% click-through rate. This one, the second version of the ad got 1.2% click-through rate. And then, they just got stronger and stronger. And it was kind of cool because, you're hitting up a list of opens. You're only targeting the opens. So it makes sense that the open rate would then just get like way, way higher. But what I thought was fascinating is that the different angles would work a little bit better. And so, for example, this second and this third angle were way, way better than what the initial one was. And the emails themselves are really just like an ad. And, I've been writing ads for so long for the business. It actually wound up being pretty simple to put together. Maybe I'll create another video talking about like how to write these ads. One thing that's also cool about this is once somebody opts in for something, on your list, this opens it up for the appointment setters, because now somebody's engaged with your stuff. That they're interested in at least, or they're interested in this one particular issue. In this case, it's like getting reviews. And so now the appointment setters can follow up with all of the people who have downloaded that information, downloaded that lead magnet. They can follow up with even more information, even more, value, or they could just say, hey, call them up. Let's see if we can schedule a call. So it just gives a nice way to contact the people on your list rather than just calling them up like out of the blue. Now you've got like a solid reason and an open door, to start that conversation. So the other thing that I noticed this week that we tested that worked really well was just asking simple questions. So this is actually something that I completely grabbed from Ryan Deiss from Digital Marketer. I had opted into one of his ads, and I was just taking a look at all of the emails that he was sending, and I noticed that the emails he was sending were very personal. It wasn't like these long marketing emails, with a lot of crazy stuff. Instead, it was just like a real simple, like, hey, what's your one question? And so I adjusted that for my market. And this was the email. It says, hey, I wanted to check in. Q1 is done. Are you guys on pace to hit your 2024 revenue goals? What's the big challenge or focus of Q2? And I wasn't really sure what to expect from this email, but I was amazed at how many people responded to this email. And it's a pain in the neck because we don't actually on ActiveCampaign, we don't have like the reply. It doesn't like track all the replies. But I know based off of all the emails I've been sending, over the last couple of years, like, wow, this was something that really people gravitated to. And I got responses like, sometimes it was like, hey, I know this is a marketing email, but I wanted to respond to you. And so that was really fascinating and opened up a lot of conversations, and in some cases, opportunities to demo our service. And then the final lesson around email marketing is that software reports can also be lead magnets. So since we offer a lot of SEO services, one of the lead magnets is it's like, hey, look, there's this report. It's a GeoGrid. You really need to know about this. Would you like me to run a report for you? And I did this in the same way as I did that other simple email. So let me show you what that looks like. So here's the email. Have you seen a Maps GeoGrid report for your company? Maps gets, these many calls, bad rankings means you're missing out. Do you want me to run a quick report for you? So you can see how, this came directly from that like Ryan Deiss style email. And then under the PS, I explained kind of like what this was. And I mean, this also another interesting thing. This got sent out by accident. I sent it out at like 10 p.m. on a Friday night. And then I woke up on Saturday to like 16 or 17 replies, and then, I've been following up with everybody over the weekend with the GeoGrid reports and, seeing if we can schedule some demos. I was able to do one like on the fly demo. This guy called me up while I was at lunch with my kids, but, definitely learning some things there. So here are things that I would do differently or things that I'm doing next. And one of the big things is to segment the list differently for lead magnets. So what I mean by that is when I look at my list, my email list, we do have revenue figures for the people who are on our list. And what we've noticed is that people who are below 500,000, they're not usually qualified. They don't have the marketing budget to invest in our services. And when I did send out that email about the software report, a lot of them were coming from people who are unqualified. And so it's a lot of time spent nurturing those leads or working those leads through a process when they're really, not financially able to really invest in us. So one thing I would do differently is I would segment the list differently to make sure I'm only sending those lead magnets to the people that I want, especially if we're going to have appointment setters following up on these leads afterwards. It doesn't seem like a good use of time to have those emails and those efforts following less qualified buyers. Another thing is you'll notice with this GeoGrid report, the open rate was actually pretty awful. And I think this is actually a combination of HubSpot and ActiveCampaign. So I've been using ActiveCampaign for years, and because of that, I guess the email providers, they know that my domain sends from that IP address, from those servers. And so over time, I'm trying to send more and more emails from HubSpot, but the open rate is really low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually send similar emails with different angles from ActiveCampaign and then to the segmented list to see what we get from there. And that's really like the final thing, just different emails, different angles and different emails, for the things that people are interested in. So people really seem to like that software report email. So I'm just going to double down on what works and see how that one goes. So anyway, that's kind of the big things I've learned this week. Hope this is helpful to you guys out there, and I'll see you soon.